So we recently did an episode of Visual Effects Artists React where we talked about Halo, and there were a ton of comments saying we gotta make something in the Halo universe. And well, it's funny you should mention that. I'm a massive Halo fan. I played all the games, I've read a bunch of the books, and in high school, I even tried to build a warthog. So one of my favorite games of all time is Halo 3 ODST. I've always wanted to tell a more grounded Halo story, just like that game. Now that I'm here at Corridor, I think I might finally be able to make that dream come true. Corridor Digital was started with video game fan films, way back with Frozen Crossing. But that was directed by Sam and Niko. Now, if I'm gonna convince those two to allow us to use all of the awesome resources we have in the studio, I'm gonna need to make something that's really gonna blow their minds. Lucky for me, I've got my buddy Jonah with me.
Hey.
Jonah and I are gonna try and create enough of this project in our free time so that we can piece together a trailer to show to Sam and Niko. The goal with this trailer is to hopefully blow their minds and get their support to produce a whole Halo short film. So, the Halo TV show on Paramount Plus might have left a bad taste in your mouth.
AI off.
I'm introducing myself to the rest of the team.
Go disappear.
They did a lot of things right with that show, the VFX is pretty sweet, but they kind of just missed the mark on what a Halo story should be.
Wow, okay.
The thing is, that's already been done. There's been awesome Halo live action content that's been created already. We had Forward Unto Dawn, you had Neil Blomkamp's Landfall trailers, and one of my favorites is the We Are ODST trailer. It encapsulates everything that a Halo live action piece can be. It really brings you down to a human level. You know, the attention isn't on these crazy Spartan super soldiers. It's just on the average, everyday men and women that are supposed to be serving in the UNSC. It feels a lot more gritty and real. It's more of like Band of Brothers rather than Power Rangers, which was kind of the feeling a lot of people got from the Paramount show. For our film, I want to tell a more grounded story that's focused more on the human side of things, rather than try to be an all-encompassing space opera. The reality is, I don't have the resources to just go out there and have my $10 million an episode budget, get all these amazing props and costumes, huge sets and all that. But what we do have is access to the in-game models. With using the game assets, what's great is we're staying true to the original. The incredible artists at 343 Industries and Bungie before them have already done the work and created the assets that quintessentially are Halo. I started this process by manually ripping files from the games, and in that process I discovered there are actually some awesome Discord communities. These Discord communities have great people taking assets from the Halo games and optimizing them for use in Blender, which is my 3D program of choice, and the one I'll be using to create this short film. So because all of these assets and environments are pre-set up, it really feels like just playing with action figures or this really kind of advanced form of machinima.
You ever wonder why we're here? It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it?
Machinima was a form of filmmaking where you're basically just taking in-game footage and creating your animated story based on that. Red vs. Blue and Rooster Teeth in general was such a huge part of Halo's growth and community. So what we're doing is like that, but just with so much more control. We can, really block out our scenes, control the cameras a lot more, rather than trying to nail a take in one go with just an Xbox controller. So we figured out the technical side of how to actually make this thing. Now comes the more important part, is how do we actually tell a good story? Joan and I have both been working on this short film for quite a while just in our spare time, because there's a ton of other stuff going on at Corridor that we have to focus on during the day. It's been a labor of love, and we have a script we're really happy with. But it's one thing to write a story, it's another to take that story and turn it into a full short film, especially when I am trying to create these sequences in Blender all on my own. Just like the rookie in Halo 3 ODST, I'm a bit of a one-man army here. I'm gonna have to be rendering each one of these shots all by myself. I don't have an entire animation studio here working with me, so I need to be incredibly meticulous on how I'm doing these shots. We need to go through, really concisely break down our script and make a really clear shot list and storyboard of how we're gonna do this thing. More specifically, we need to make sure we have everything we need for this trailer. That's gonna include a radio edit from our actors and very specific shots that we're gonna be using to cut this trailer piece together. So now that we've got our method down on how to create this thing, we have our story, the next big hurdle to overcome is how do we actually bring life to these characters and have their performance come through. So originally when we were first concepting out this whole short film, I was using a combination of hand animation and pre-made Mixamo animations. And it was super tedious and not really working all that well. The reality is I don't have time to animate all of these shots, and I'm a terrible animator. I'm just not good at it at all. But what we do have is access to some really awesome motion capture technology. I'm using the Rococo SmartSuit Pro 2. It's super awesome, and the people at Rococo have been super helpful. The best part is there's a plugin in Blender that allows me to just really quickly take my motion capture data and transfer it right onto the character rig so that I can have fully animated motion capture performance on all of our characters. Since starting to use the Rococo suit, it's made my process about 10,000 times faster. I can actually just set up a whole sequence of shots, act it all out, and then just render the whole sequence with different cameras. It's so much faster and it's made my life so much easier. One of the coolest parts for me in this process has been the moment where I was actually able to play back all of my motion capture data in real time in Blender and see the characters moving around, acting out the performance that I had done in the motion capture suit. It was really the moment where I was like, okay, we can actually do this. We've got story locked down, we've got our process locked down, animation is covered. I have what I need to create the specific shots necessary for a trailer, which Jonah has pieced together with the placeholder shots. One final effort is all that remains, actually rendering all of these shots. But if I was just rendering these things on any old PC at home, I'd probably start a fire. So the deadline is coming up really quick here on this trailer, and we need to get this thing in front of Sam and Niko. There's still a ton of VFX shots to get through here. Luckily, I have a solution. Puget Systems has been a huge supporter of Corridor Digital for many years. They've hooked us up with a ton of awesome workstations. So we've linked together every single Puget System workstation we have in the studio to create a render farm. I'm rendering on this one right now. And this one too. I'm even rendering on this one. And this one. Ow, ow, why? Ow. Thanks, Matt. We wouldn't be able to do what we do here at Corridor Digital were it not for the awesome people over at Puget Systems. They tailor specific computers for our needs, whether it's blasting out a ton of high quality renders or deep diving into AI and machine learning. They're able to create custom built computers that fit your needs. Whether you're working at a professional level or just taking your first steps into learning VFX, they can create a computer that will be everything you need. Click the link in the description below or go to pugetsystems.com to find out more. And in just a few days, Puget Systems is even starting to ship to Canada, which is very important for a Canuck like me. Whether you're in Vancouver or all the way on the East Coast in Newfoundland and Labrador, they'll send you a Puget System right to your door. Cheers to that. It's maple syrup, by the way. Oh, it's so sweet. So there's still a lot of work to get through, and I foresee a couple of late nights in Jonah and I's future. The most important part of this trailer is that we convey to Sam and Niko that this is a project worth pursuing, so we need the trailer to get that across.
Beautiful. It's very beautiful. That was a very beautiful song. Thank you. But it's going to take a little bit more than a beautiful song to impress us.
I've heard Jonah and Fenner had this Halo video that they want to make, and it's super ambitious. I really want to see them succeed, but I have no idea how they're going to pull it off. And so I need a little bit of convincing that they can pull it off.
I know you can make some cool shots, but can you put them together in the right order?
That's very important. Well, we'll see here if we can. We've worked really, really hard on this. It's very near and dear to both our hearts, and we're so happy that we can share this with you all.
Without further ado, I think we just play this thing.
Why are you here?
The people stationed here are my responsibility.
Where is everyone?
The base is compromised. We need to leave.
We don't have the luxury just to walk away.
I know.
You guys see that shit?
If we have a chance to help our own, then that's what we do. Do it!
My motion tracker reads friendly movement. 50 yards.
Nobody move.
Look at that.
Pretty cool. That's pretty sick. I've never seen a plasma sword that big before, and that piqued my interest.
I love the feel of like the environment and like the sense of being in a place, capturing like the vibe. So it's like, oh, I'm back there again, you know. It's like, and I'm seeing it in this like high fidelity, imagined way. It's really cool. This feels like the Halo 3 commercials.
Ooh!
And that is the biggest compliment.
Let's go. One shot in particular stands out. It's the close-up of the visor. That was not CG in that visor, was it?
That's our very own Jordan Coleman.
Oh, it's JC.
We basically shot JC on the green screen and then just applied that on like a card that was tracked inside the helmet.
Sick.
The Gatling gun shot, seeing a hand come down and spin it like that, that's a super nice touch.
The shots are crispy, obviously. You want them extra crisp, and they're super crispy. But at the same time, I love all like the weird like lens effects that are going on. It makes it feel a little bit more raw. When we were watching the shots from that TV show, that was the big problem with that. It was clean. It was so clean. It was like on a set. You know, it felt like a TV show suddenly, and it didn't feel like, all right, here's these commandos going to a hostile planet.
It obviously looks super sick, but more importantly, like the fact that you guys have more than 2 shots done. It's really cool.
I feel like having the challenge of doing the trail actually helped us like speed up our workflow, because we were working through some scenes and then you said, let's see a trailer, and we kind of fast-tracked and were able to work through a lot of different types of scenes, and that gave us the opportunity to like hammer out the workflow for each one of those scenes.
Using Blender, motion capture, Nuke, all the resources we have, it feels doable now.
You guys can keep poking away at this, and that's cool, but it's just gonna take a long time to come out. It'd be awesome if everybody here could just like buckle down and work together and get a video out, which would be super cool. For us to do that, it really comes down to everyone on the website helping support this, because it's up to you guys to let us do these kind of projects where we truly all take time and just focus on it from your direct support. So I'm down. If everybody watching on the website is down, everybody on YouTube, it's cool. Hi. These kind of things are really dictated by us having the ability to be free from ads and sponsors and things like that, which we can only do with our, the direct support of the audience. But I think we should try to make it happen. So let's keep working on it. Let's make it happen.
I mean, I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah.